The Earth brims with marvels and captivating sights, yet certain phenomena are so elusive that only a handful have ever witnessed them. To even stand a chance at experiencing these rarities, one must first know what to seek. Here are some exceptionally rare occurrences that, despite your best efforts, you may never encounter in person. This isn't what you think it is. It's not a rock, and it's not a giant dinosaur turd either. This is the world's largest termite mound located on the Plenty Highway between Boya and Alice Springs in Australia. While termites usually nest underground, they can grow upwards as well in tropical areas such as Australia and Africa. These nests can get up to 30 feet high, and some have been dated to be about 2,000 years old. Australia has some other unusual things to find as well. Check out these caterpillars on parade. Maybe we should consider it a warning that the end of the earth is coming and we should follow them. While most of us have never seen behavior like this from an insect, it is in fact part of their natural life cycle. The leader of the caterpillar, Conga, is typically a future female moth, and as she progresses towards her reputation site, she's followed by a seemingly infinite number of males, each one being drawn forward by the scent of those ahead of them. French entomologist Jean-Marie Faber experimented with them by placing them in a circle to find out how long it would take for them to correct their path. It turns out they'll play follow the leader almost endlessly as they continue to march in a circle for over a week. I guess it's not the end of the world, just a bunch of disoriented caterpillars. Now this is something straight out of an Alfred Hitchcock film. We've seen birds flock before, but this is way beyond that. Hundreds of thousands of starlings were seen here migrating over Rome, Italy. These birds migrate into December and January from much colder northern regions. Of course, when such a huge number of birds flock up in the skies, residents below are often left with a big mess. Although migrations happen annually, there's no telling how many birds you'll see or exactly when. One of the most beautiful birds you'll ever see is the peacock. They're colorful and majestic as they put on a proud display when trying to attract a mate. This peacock is very unusual though, as it's completely white. Only a handful of peacocks like this existed in the world. Most of them have a condition called luck, which causes an overall reduction in different types of pigments. They tend to have blue eyes, though ones like this with albinism by contrast are even rarer and can be told apart because they have red or pink eyes. Birds tend to lay eggs, and on rare occasions those eggs can look wonky just like this. When an elongated egg like this one pops out, the average person might never see it as it will be trashed before hitting the shells. Some chickens just naturally create elongated eggs at times, but it can also mean that something might be wrong with the chicken. Either way, it's a rare thing to see, and its taste remains unchanged. Beneath the surface of our ocean lies even more phenomenal creatures, so rare that even the most experienced diver or oceanographer will be surprised to find them like this. Skate egg. A skate is a fish related to a stingray or a shark. These small sacs can be found at times washed up on a beach. The strange shape of their egg case enables them to wedge in the crevices of rocky seafloors where they're protected from predators who will usually feed on them. Now here is the most amazing fish you've ever seen. It's so rare it's only been photographed once by the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute in 2009. Part of the reason it's hard to observe is that it lives 600 to 800 meters below the surface of the ocean. It's called a barrel eye fish, and for good reason. What do you think? Its eyes are actually its nares, which are basically just fish nostrils. Its eyes are actually those green domes, which peer through its see-through head, helping it look out for its prey, which lives overhead. When it's about to eat its food, its eyes then turn towards its prey. So it can actually see what it's about to eat. Even though it looks large, it's only around 15 centimeters long. Now to fish you'll find just above the surface. Yes, just above the surface there. You may be lucky enough to see the flying fish. Stop wondering. Flying fish do actually exist. A standard-looking fish with large fins that double up as wings. These creatures take to the air to avoid predators. Getting caught in the middle of a flock of fish can be annoying though, as they fly out of the water and skim across the surface. Boaters beware. Lobsters, on the other hand, are a common sight as they can be found in many grocery stores around the world, not to mention at your favorite seafood restaurant. There are some lobsters that are so rare, though, that seeing one is like winning the lottery. This group of lobsters is held at the New England Aquarium, including their newest addition, the golden lobster. The chances of finding a golden lobster are 1 in 30 million. The blue lobster is slightly more common, with odds of catching one at 1 in 3 million, while their two-tone friend comes in at 1 in 50 million. As lobsters change color to the bright red, we associate them with only after cooking. The live bright red one in this group is found to be 1 in 10 million. The odds of seeing them all together in one photo are astronomical. How's that for a jackpot? Lobsters tend to have more color variation than any other animal, and although it's commonly thought to be a result of their diet or a genetic mutation, no one really knows why. For sure, calico lobsters are also rarefied. These yellow creatures with black spotting are 1 in 30 million. Still, nothing comes close to the rarest lobster of all, the albino lobster. This creature has no color pigment and can even look translucent. Finding one of these is a 1 in 100 million chance. Having two of them in the same picture is quite the catch. The rarest thing you'll ever see in the ocean is a low. This albino humpback whale was first seen in 1991 off the east coast of Australia and was thought to be 3 to 5 years of age. At the time, it was named a lau, as it means white fellas in the indigenous dialect. The Australian government protects this natural beauty by imposing a 1,600-foot space requirement around the giant. Up until 2011, it was thought that a lau was the only white humpback whale in the world until MJ, or Alou Jr., an all-white calf, was found. These two whales are among the rarest things in the world, so if you've ever seen one of them, consider yourself very lucky. Back on land, if you're looking for a little snack, here's something to tide you over. This tree stump looks just like a sliced loaf of bread. While it is unusual, it's simply a matter of a tree sprouting, saplings right next to it, and growing together. When the tree was cut down, it resulted in a sandwich shape, which looks delicious enough to bite into if wood isn't your thing. How about this fire opal? While opal are not themselves rare stones, fire opals are among the rarest form. They're respected as a symbol of the warmest love possible in ancient Indian cultures. Today, they're even the national gemstone of Mexico, where this impressive example was found. Unless you've cracked open a meteorite or visited a specialty exhibit at a museum, you probably haven't had the opportunity to see the inside of a space rock. These meteorite guts are almost never seen this way. These photos were created by Jeff Barton, an astronomy photographer. On his Flickr, you can see his amazing images of cut-open meteorites, shaved thinly, with lights shone through them to show off their very rare beauty. Nature has a way of creating unique things that most people have never seen, like these snow rolls. At first glance, you'd think someone came by and had some fun, but these little snow rolls are completely natural, as they're created by the wind on a steep hill. If the conditions are just right, if even one required condition is off, these little wonders won't happen. I've never seen any, have you? Some animals are rare, but check out this former animal more precisely. A dinosaur that was recently unearthed. That in itself is not rare, but for rancher Randy Rees, who herds cattle in northeastern Montana, finding a T-Rex on his property almost completely intact was a fluke occurrence. Randy was offered $5,000 by two men wanting to search his land for his dinosaur bones. After about a year, the men returned and informed Randy that on his property they found the most complete T-Rex skull ever seen. One such T-Rex skull found in the Badlands of North Dakota sold at an auction for over $8.3 million. So you can imagine how delighted the Reese family was when they were told about their dinosaur. The funny thing is, if the dinosaur had taken 2 or 3 more steps before it died, it would have been on government property and Randy Ree would never have known. Here's something unusual and interesting that looks like a little snowball. These are actually called Oaken Knight. They're small white clusters of straight fibers, crystal, that are malleable, but quite fragile. What makes them rare is that they're only found in some basalt geodes, which are hollow formations screed out of sedimentary and volcanic rock that's been cooled quickly. If you've ever seen a geode, it's unlikely that it included Oaken Knight, as these little clusters are very rare. This will blow your mind. It looks like a lemon-lime hybrid, but sadly we can't call it a limon. It's a lemon. Crazy, right? Okay, lemons are not rare, but this particular lemon is very unusual. It was picked right off the tree like this. It's simply a matter of the way it ripened on the tree that caused this almost perfect color mixing. The yellow half must have seemed much more sunlight than the green half, and now we have a perfect fruit for Sprite commercials. Weather can be a great source of strange, yet natural formations, much like the lemon lime. Sometimes, though, nature can give us something frightening. We've all been caught in a rainstorm, but when that rain becomes ice, this is what you get to see. Hail is a common occurrence, but when it's the size of a human hand, it's very uncommon. These particular giant ice balls fell from the sky in Alabama. It's an awesome sight, but the sight of these is terrifying and can cause serious damage. While we can see most things in this world, here's a place we can all visit. NACA, Mexico sits about 60 miles south of Chihuahua. In is home to the Cave of the Crystals. There's no other place like it that exists on Earth. This giant crystal cave contains some of the largest natural crystal deposits ever found, and was only found by miners excavating a new tunnel in 2000. The biggest crystal documented so far is said to be 39 feet long by 13 feet wide, weighing 55 tons. That's a lot of chandeliers. Only a few people have ever seen the cave for a number of reasons. Firstly, access is restricted, and secondly, you need specialist suits and equipment because the cave is extremely hot with air temperatures reaching up to 58 degrees Celsius. If you have the opportunity, which item would you be most excited to view? Remember to hit that like button and subscribe. See you in the next one. Appreciate your support.